There have been so many meta-shifting changes over the past few patches, so as we head into 12.3, it's time to update you guys on the best solo carries. As always, we'll be covering 3 champions for every role who possess the greatest ability to impact games on their own. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. Alright, let's get started. The trend continues for top lane, where champions who excel without teleport are providing the best results. Garen has been loving the past couple patches, and 12.3 will be even better. Gore Drinker and Divine Sunderer are seeing their health lowered, which will allow for more kill threat in many meta matchups. Hearthbound Axe, which is a component of Stridebreaker, is actually seeing a cost reduction, providing a nice boost to Garen's early game. If you're having trouble dealing with fighters like Yone, Jax, Renekton, and Riven, Garen is an excellent pickup to answer them. In regards to a good ban, Teemo is one of the more annoying matchups to be aware of. Core build is a Stridebreaker rush into Mortal Reminder 2nd and Deadman's Plate 3rd. Run Conqueror as the keystone, with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Conditioning and Overgrowth are the optimal secondaries. Darius will take home our second top lane slot, as his lane dominance is extremely valuable for the current state of the meta. Enemy can no longer influence the map pre-14 minutes, which bodes well for a champion like Darius who wants his 1v1 matchup. Darius fares well into most bruiser tops, however ranged champs can give him some issues. For that reason, banning out Teemo is a good idea. Although Trinity Force has been the most popular mythic over the past few patches, we see that shifting for 12.3. Stridebreaker already outperforms Trinity stat-wise, and with Hearthbound Axe seeing a cost reduction, there will be even more incentive to build into Stride. Core build is a Stridebreaker rush into Sterek 2nd and Deadman's Plate 3rd. For runes, pick up Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Secondaries are Bone Plating and Unflinching. The most consistent top laner throughout Season 12 has been Shen, and he locks down the 3rd solo carry spot. A nerf to Q in 12.2 removed Shen's OP status, but his relative power remains very high. With all these bruiser item changes in 12.3, Shen will become even more lethal with an early advantage. Less health on bruiser items means an easier snowball and ability to tear down meta tops even easier. If you haven't tried it already, the new build of Frostfire into Demonic Embrace is leading to insane results. Surprisingly, Demonic Embrace works exceptionally well with Shen, as the passive burn damage works with Q, while extra AP is great for bigger ultimate shields. Frostfire Mythic passive providing 100 bonus health has great synergy with Demonic passive, which converts 2% of bonus health into ability power. Rune Page is Grasp with Shield Bash, Second Wind, and Revitalize for primaries. Optimal secondaries are Cheap Shot and Ultimate Hunter. Diana has taken the jungle meta by storm for Season 12. A couple passive buffs were all Diana needed to push past the majority of junglers in priority. It's all about reaching level 6 and looking for skirmishes from then on out. You can still make plays happen pre-6, but Diana absolutely thrives with ultimate available in those hectic situations. Build versatility is amazing for Diana, as you can lean towards Nashor's Tooth against other fighters and tanks, or go full one-shot with a Rocket Belt rush into squishies. With so many enchanters being played in the current meta, favoring the one-shot build with Shadow Flame will do you wonders for most games. Conqueror is Diana's best keystone with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Roll with Freeboots and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. With Hecarim moving out of the top 3 due to Chem Tank nerfs, on the rise is Kha'Zix. First Strike Kha'Zix is not only super fun to play, but it's highly effective as well. Since Kha'Zix has so much burst potential, the gold income from First Strike will allow you to snowball into your core items very fast. It's really just the ultimate solo carry setup, as the more fed you get, the more damage you deal, which leads to even more gold from First Strike to reach max build at lightning speed. In regards to your build, a Duskblade rush into Ghostblade 2nd and Edge of Night 3rd is very consistent. The movement speed boost from Ghostblade in combination with stealth from Duskblade passive offers a lethal 2-item spike. Hit that core and you begin one-shotting everyone in sight. The most dominant solo queue jungler throughout Season 12 so far is Nunu. We can sense some nerfs are coming in the next few patches, so collect your freelo while it lasts. The spam gank potential single-handedly wins games before the enemy laners even get a chance to play. After snowballing your lanes out of control, you look to acquire every single dragon on spawn. Playing for Dragon Soul is a highly effective strategy, as based on statistics, the team who acquires Soul wins 88% of the time. This is a major reason to why Nunu can be so impactful for solo queue. Sunfire buffs a few patches back were amazing for Nunu, as it's the go-to rush item, followed by Deadman's Plate 2nd and Thornmail or Visage 3rd. As for runes, grab Phase Rush with Nimbus Cloak, Celerity, and Water Walking. Triumph and Tenacity are the best secondaries. One mid laner who's flying heavily under the radar after recent item changes is Fizz. Lichbane alterations were pretty neutral for most assassins, but Fizz has been loving them. Added haste for less damage is a great trade-off for Fizz, who's so reliant on ultimate to be effective. You're able to posture way more aggressively and look for pick plays more often now, which leads to nothing but positive results. Now that Lichbane offers 15 haste, you're able to amass a total of 65 haste at 3 items. Good ban to consider when playing Fizz is Kassadin, as his magic shield and mobility make it difficult to play into. Core items are Luden's, Zhonya's, and Lichbane. However, the order in which you purchase really depends on preference and the game in hand. Into AD, mid, and jungle, it's a great strategy to rush Zhonya's. For runes, pick up Electrocute with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Ingenious Hunter. Triumph and Coup de Grace work best for secondaries. Recent Qiyana nerfs didn't affect her power level in the slightest, as she remains a powerhouse pick. The single target one-shot in combination with a superb team fight give Qiyana many avenues to carry games. With Victor and Corki played a ton, Qiyana doesn't mind that whatsoever. Qiyana players are winning at extremely high rates in both matchups. Vex and Sylas are 2 lanes who can be more difficult to play into, so using your ban on one of them is a good idea. Prowler's Claw into Ghostblade is a disgustingly potent build, as the mobility and one-shot combination is so powerful. Side with Electrocute as the keystone, followed by Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Presence of Mind and Last Stand are the best secondaries. With Corki nerf for 12.3, the priority on Victor will rise even further. Just like Fizz, Vic is a massive winner from the recent Lichbane buffs. If you're not already building Lichbane's second item, then look to try it out this patch. Although all the talk has been around how broken Crown is, Luden's and Liandry's are definitely overlooked. If you're not playing into a heavy assassin or dive comp, then deviating away from Crown is a good idea. Luden's into squishies and Liandry's into health stackers is a simple rule of thumb. At 3 items, you got a little more burst potential with something like Luden's to obliterate enemies' mispositioning. High mobility assassins are more difficult for Vic to deal with, so using your ban on Akali or Zed is worthwhile. As for runes, First Strike and Aerie are proving to be viable options. To keep it simple, look to run First Strike into melee matchups and Aerie into longer ranged mids. Although First Strike can be very effective, if you're not able to proc it in lane, the value is greatly diminished. What do you know, the latest champion release jumps right up into the top 3. After tracking Zeri all throughout 12.2, she started off with an extremely low win rate, but the tables have turned. Zeri is without a doubt extremely strong, and the main reason for that initial low win rate was due to poor build optimization. Stop building Kraken Slayer or Shield Bow or even Gale Force and rush Trinity Force. With the Hurricane interaction nerfed for 12.3, Black Cleaver will take over as a great second purchase. Cleaver is super underrated right now, as you can stack the passive instantly with a single Q usage. Titanic Hydra will be slotted in 3rd. Zeri needs to get up close to deal her damage, so with these more durable items, you're able to reliably keep your ultimate movement speed buff running to stay slippery and pump out consistent DPS. Best keystone is Lethal Tempo, as attack speed is such a key stat for Zeri. Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace round out primaries. Grab Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter for secondaries. Veigar will lock down a spot in the top 3 for the second patch in a row. The 12.2 Q buffs have been absolutely massive, turning Veigar into one of the strongest solo Q carries. Bot Veigar is more reliable than mid, as you can't get exploited as hard for a weaker early game when up against traditional ADCs. You get to scale for free and become a consistent threat in the mid game. If you can pair Veigar up with Maokai, Alistar, or Pyke, it's free kills at level 6. All 3 of those champions have an ability they can use to knock the enemy into Veigar's stun, which allows for a potent chain CC combo. Core build is an Everfrost Rush into Rabadon's 2nd and Zhonya's 3rd. Keystone Rune depends on preference, as Predator and Electrocute are viable options. When paired with an aggro support, running Electro is a great idea, but in a lane where you lack kill threat, opt for Predator. Riot has tried to push Vayne out of meta with a few different item nerfs, but she continues to outclass the majority of ADCs. With Janna coming back into meta and Lulu as a top picked support, everything's in Vayne's favor. All you gotta do is reach 2 items, have an enchanter by your side, and the ball is in your court. There are a few build variations to be aware of depending on the game. Shield Bow and Wit's End are optimal when against heavy dive or AP assassins. On the other hand, Kraken and Phantom Dancer work great when you need to shred a beefy front line. Lethal Tempo is your keystone with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Pick up Conditioning and Overgrowth for secondaries. So it turns out giving Senna a free keystone may not have been the best idea. Senna's power level has shot up drastically due to the 12.2 buff and slides into the top 3 for support. The slow on Q offers excellent kiting and sticking power, which was lacking after the Glacial Augment rework. Fleet movement speed proc with Q slow synergy has added so much strength to Senna. Since on-hit effects proc off Senna Q, you're able to slow your target and acquire bonus movement speed at the same time. One of Senna's main weaknesses is her lack of mobility, but it's no longer as much of an issue. Builds are all over the place at the moment, as you can run Eclipse or Divine Sunderer for the Mythic. Eclipse is best in the squishier comps, while Divine is great to shred health stackers. Pick up Fleet as the keystone with Presence of Mind, Alacrity, and Cut Down. Biscuits and Approach Velocity are great for secondaries. Another support coming off some massive buffs and making her way into the top 3 is Janna. The change to Janna's E was the big one that added extra strength. 20% bonus heal and shield power when immobilizing a target means your E, Ultimate, Moonstone, and Redemption are way more potent. Glacial Augment is also a leading factor in Janna's rise, as the disruption in teamfights is nuts. Overall, your defensive power and ability to protect carries is much higher, which is leading to positive results. Although Shirelia's remains a viable mythic, Moonstone should be your main focus for most games. New Janna E works way too well with the Moonstone heal. The rune page is glacial with Freeboots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Font of Life and Revitalize are the optimal secondaries. With all these low mobility range supports coming back in the meta, it gives all the more reason to pick up Blitz. Good Blitz players will be feasting in 12.3 with Lulu, Senna, Janna, and Karma played at very high rates. One hook in lane is all it takes to snowball the entire game. You pick up First Blood and get your ADC ahead, and then after recalling, you head mid to pick up a kill for your mid laner. Rinse and repeat, going back and forth from bot lane to mid, getting multiple lanes ahead. In the mid to late game, it's all about objective control and catching the enemy with easy hooks as they are forced to walk into Fog of War. Build is a Shirelia's or Locket Rush into Zeke's 2nd and Wardstone 3rd. Glacial has started picking up traction and is winning more than any other keystone. Hook's plays are way more reliable with Glacial as the enemy has less ability to escape due to the slow. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So there you have it, the 3 best solo carries for every single role in 12.3. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you back soon.